Hi, my name's Christina Harmon, and today I am here with John McNeely, a local architect, to give us some insight as to what to look for when you're renovating or remodeling, expanding a home here in Laguna Beach. Thanks for joining us, John.
You're quite welcome. First step always, start with a preliminary idea of what you want to achieve, whether it is an expansion or a redesign. Any changes on the exterior of the house, if you're in a homeowner association area, HOA, you would need to get their approval before you even touch the city. But even prior to going to the HOA, I always recommend doing a preliminary design and running it through the city zoning department to get their approval to make sure that we're not doing any infractions from their point of view. Once we have the preliminary design, which I would define as my site plan, this is like a bird's eye view, and the cover sheet, floor plans shows the floor areas, and then the exterior elevations, what anybody would see from all sides of the house. And if you can do it in 3D like we do, it really helps a lot for people to visualize and see what the finished product is going to be. In color helps. Once you have that package, take it to the city first. If they like it, preliminarily at least, now you're ready to go to the homeowners association. But before I go to the homeowners association, I make it a process to go to each of my neighbors in the surrounding area. So any houses that even potentially could be impacted by a view corridor, a roof height change, or anything where their views may be impacted in any way, I want to make sure that I go to neighbors on the above, around the sides, even below that might be looking up if it's a hillside. Anybody who might be impacted, we want to make sure that they know what we're intending to do. And if we can do a roof staking plan at an early stage like that, that helps for our discussions. If we have to do a roof expansion for an addition, then I want the neighbors who are impacted to see what that impact is going to be on them personally, so that we aren't going to be surprised later on when we go to the design review board. Once we get through the HOA, or if there's no HOA, then we go directly to the city, and we go through that same process before going to the city. Always get neighbor involvement and approval, because the design review board is really all about pleasing your neighbors and the city board, and just making sure that it looks like something that they would like to see in that neighborhood. I've seen a few homes that were like a total contemporary. While I love contemporary in some settings, one was done by a local architect in an area where it was total cottages, in a total Laguna Beach cottage neighborhood, and they just go, come on, really? So they're trying to control a little bit of design character and keep the ambience of the city intact as much as possible. They love the little cottage flavor stuff, but not all the houses are going to be a little cottage flavor. We know that. Once we get past the homeowners and we get them on board with the project, then we submit for zoning and make sure that we fulfill all of their criteria. And then once zoning gives us the green light, then we go to a submittal for a design review board, and they'll have all that criteria that you can learn about at the city. And that could be a 2 to 6 month process, depending on how many neighbors show up that want to complain and want you to change things, or maybe even the board itself wants you to change things. So that's the first step, is getting through DRB. Once you're through the DRB, then it's just a matter of getting the working drawings completed and finalizing the plans and making sure that they conform to what was approved in the design review board, and going through the building department. And Laguna Building Department is terrific. The structural engineering changes and all that sort of thing, and approvals, and they do real well there. They're nice to work with.
That's great.
Design review board can be a little sticky, but other than that, that's the main process.
Okay.
Pretty much anything that requires an exterior change will require a design review board. Window change outs, sometimes they will do even just an administrative review where it's not a full design review.
That was going to be my next question. What doesn't need the design review board?
Any second story addition, doesn't matter how small. I did one where we did I think it was like a 60 square foot addition as part of another one story addition. And we had to go to design review just for that. And it added a lot of cost and effort on our part just for all the extra plans that they require, which are silly, but they do. But anything that requires neighbor approval, the city wants to make sure that all the neighbors are involved and are happy with what you're doing.
How about the interior? Is there anything there that you think would be able to kind of
Interiors,
preclude?
you can gut out and do all
Okay.
you want, and there's no design review board.
Great.
As long as what is impacted on the outside, what anybody can see on the outside of the house, that's what
Okay.
DRB wants to be involved with. If it's interior, no harm, no foul, nobody can
That's good
see
to
it.
know. Yeah, a lot of my clients always ask that question.
Yeah, you
because they
still
know
need
the-
permits if we're going to do a nice new kitchen,
Okay.
lighting, plumbing, gas, mechanical. All those things require building permits and approvals because we want to make sure that each of the trades are doing their work correctly and per code. And we have a lot of really extensive codes in each discipline, if you will.
Right.
So each of those requires a specific inspection.
Okay.
So
And in terms of your role as an architect, are you the one to provide? I know these are your blueprints. You've done some incredible homes all across Laguna, from Irvine
We've had
Cove
fun.
to Three Arch Bay, and you did our little home here in Laguna. And so these are our plans. What are some of the things what is your role in terms of getting these things approved in the
I take
city?
the plans, and I think all architects do too, that they will take the plans through concept to building permit ready. So it's my responsibility to go to the design review board meetings and go through the zoning and go through the building department and make sure that all bodies are satisfied and happy and plans are stamped and ready for the contractor to come and pull the permit.
Okay. Next question. For my clients looking to purchase a home in Laguna Beach, how can they see some maybe restrictions, anything that they could get to know about that particular property before purchasing?
Sure. Every city has a zoning department or planning department, same department. And they could meet with somebody at the counter and just discuss what they are proposing to do. If they have an idea, if they've seen a house that they go, gosh, if we could add one more room over here or one more room over there, what's it going to take? The city will pretty much give you a ballpark area of limitations that you can deal with. Beyond that, if you know that you're going to be remodeling or expanding or just scraping the house altogether and get rid of the old tired dog and rebuilding it, then get with an architect, get a referral from a friend, associate, maybe even the city. They may have some referrals, but almost everybody knows somebody who's worked with an architect or a contractor. A lot of our work does come from contractors too, just because homeowners seem to pass on contractor names more prevalently than architects sometimes. But if you can get with an architect and have them sketch out something really quick that you can run to the city with and start that process, I mean, that is really helpful because you're being preemptive. On the same note, I wouldn't want anybody to even start with an architect if they weren't 100% sure that they're going to close escrow. The escrow process is, 30, 60, or whatever, however many days it is. That time can be used in doing some preliminary design work and saving a lot of time for you, so you're not just sitting on your hands waiting for this house to get worked on.
So true.
Because the entire process takes a while in Laguna Beach or in any area. From design concept through design review board, through building department, that whole process is going to take a minimum of 6 months in Laguna.
Well, John, for my referral, I would say you can expedite the process so quickly here in Laguna Beach. You've been around for 35 to 40 years, and I think that level of tenure just really helps. My current clients, you've worked with some of them, they absolutely adore you, as have I. So
That's
thank
great.
you for your time today, and I hope that was helpful for you. Have a good one.